What's up, class? This is our video presentation. The group is me,
Amit.
And Jessica.
and first we're just going to briefly discuss our respective political ideologies and then debate a little bit about them. So with further ado, we've got Amit.
Alright, so let's start with what I believe about politics and my political ideology. Now, we'll start off from the basics and, let's take it from the beginning of time. Now, the reason, the way I feel about politics is that, the structure that we have in the United States is, the most fundamentally sound and strong system in the world. And if you look at it, politics in this country is so easy to get into. And you can really, anyone can get into politics if they feel, and, can make a large influence. And that's why I feel, if you look at, the president today, is Barack Obama. The election of Barack Obama, in my idea, exemplifies the, the political ideology that I have, that, America has the, strongest governmental structure. And if we look at it, you know, this shows, really anyone is able to get in and make an influence. And now, if we look at, my actual, stance on politics in today's time, I'd have to say, it's becoming a little bit too partisan. And we need to move back to that not unitary system, but, that unison that we had, in the beginning of American history. And if we look at, from the Constitutional Convention to now, there was so much compromise, and we need to move back to that. We need to compromise, and we have to move past, one side thinks this, one side thinks something else, and really move toward, the betterment, move toward the betterment of the country. And that's how I feel about politics. Yet, despite the partisan nature of politics, I still feel that the political structure that we have is very strong and is perhaps the best in the world.
Alright, let's make sure that works.
So we did a little scenery change because the senior couches actually aren't a productive environment to make a movie. Who would have known? Anyway, we're down in the high school office. What's up, Danny? All right, so I'm going to go to my political ideology. I'm a libertarian, meaning that I stand for fiscally conservative and socially liberal stances on most political issues. The basic tenet of libertarianism is to kind of free the citizen from any governmental restraints, that kind of thing, so long as such rights do not infringe on other people's happiness or other people's rights. So it's cool because it kind of mixes elements of both the two big parties, but creates its own party. So with that, I do tend to reject both of them for lots of their parts and kind of make its own. But it's nice because it gives definitely a different point of view that a lot of people don't know in America. But there will be a revolution one day. If you're all listening to Ron Paul, you know what I'm talking about. Yes, there will be. And it's cool. You guys should look into it.
America has a great political system, but I believe that it should be more open to different ideas of other countries and kind of function those into what we have today in the American political system. In theory, China is a communist country, but it seems to have more capitalism than the United States does. China believes in improving life for the next generation. In doing so, it makes sure that the country has low taxes, and the government is very helpful in starting businesses, and sometimes the government's banks will provide money for small businesses to get started. France is a socialist country. Its government is very involved in helping the people with their businesses. For example, on Sundays, nobody works. There's a law that says you have Sunday off to spend time with your family. The French believe that family is more important than work. Well, than your job. Thailand has a monarchy, which means there's always stability in the country. Even though Americans today disagree with the monarchy system, sometimes it's very useful. For example, in Thailand recently, the president was thrown out of office. When everyone was freaking out and causing chaos about the whole thing, the king stepped in and calmed everyone down. And this was very helpful because all the people were distraught and confused and didn't know what to do. Russia has an industrial policy. It wants its wealth to be spread to benefit all the people in the country versus just a single business owner.
All right, now we've gotten to the group section of our video. We're going to have a nice little round table. We have Victor starring,
Yep.
and Jessica and I as well. So basically we're just going to argue the differences about government in each of the following situations. The first one, of course, will be the death penalty. Victor, why don't you start?
All right, so let's start off with the death penalty, and I know, my colleague here is going to take the other stance, but, I'm for the death penalty. Let's think about it. In other countries, it's always an eye for an eye. You commit a crime, and, you serve the punishment for that crime. Now, the death penalty it varies, it's not like, oh, if you kill someone, you automatically get the death penalty. There's steps, and, if the court finds it fit that the death penalty is the correct punishment, then the death penalty is the correct punishment. There's no argument to that.
We're going to get a conversing point of view from yours truly. Actually, I don't believe in the death penalty for the following reasons. The government was never granted the rights to kill people before its creation, kind of like a John Locke thesis. Therefore, I don't think that it should have the power to kill people. The Constitution specifically forbids it in Amendment 8, depending on your interpretation. Mine says it does do that. So I do not stand for it. But let's see what Jessica says.
I agree with Sam, and I guess I agree with both, sort of. I think that there are different ways of the death penalty, and I believe that if someone is to be put down or killed, they should be euthanized versus given the electric chair or whatever. That's my opinion, personally. Hi, we're here for the last question. We're going to hear 2 different opinions on how we're going to get the economy out of recession. Sam, would you like to go first?
I'll defer.
All right, so as you all know, there's fiscal and monetary policy. Now, considering that I'm quite liberal, I'm going to go with the fiscal policy because I believe in governmental intervention when it comes to the economy.
As we all know, governmental intervention is bad, so we should leave it to the Federal Reserve Board, an independent executive agency.
No, we should not leave it to what Sam says, okay? It is all about the government. Now let's look. The government is the reason everything is founded in this country.
Agreed. However, we don't need to use it to booster and make our debt higher. That's not necessary.
Listen,
we could do some open market operations. What's wrong with that?
If you make now what Sam's talking about, he's talking about expansionary monetary policy
or contractionary, depending on the issue.
But now why do we want to mess with the inflation rates? See, that's one thing. Why do you want to mess with the money supply when you can clearly just decrease or increase the aggregate demand?
It's called appreciation and depreciation of currency.
No,
we used to have the most powerful one. Maybe we should go back to it.
No, but it doesn't matter.
Like the euro?
It doesn't matter.
More?
Okay, now, and if you look at economics, it does not matter.
If I look at economics,
if you look at the economic principle of appreciation and depreciation.
Lastly, we're reaching our limit of the video. We just want to say thank you very much for listening.
I'm not done. Let me finish.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed our video.
We'll see you soon.
Have a good summer. Hi, we're here for part 2. We're going to talk about 2 different point of views on how we're going to bring the economy out of recession. Sam, would you like to go first?
I'll defer.
Okay. Now...
You have to keep going. Can we have a bloopers part?